You've done Botox, right?
Oh,
You got some dead prisoners on your forehead.
no. No, wait. Botox is rat poison.
I don't know if that's more concerning or not.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Cancellable Podcast. My name is Bardia. I'm here with Kurosh
Hey guys,
and Natalie.
the
Guess
new
who's
Faisal.
back. Faisal is good, fine. He's with us. He's just not here
You say
today.
that
Why
every
do you
week. by the
do it
way.
like this?
It's getting so suspicious.
He actually sent a message. He said, "Hi guys, I'm alive. Everything's okay. They're taking good care of me. I don't know who they are, but yeah, everything's great."
It's hard to suck him off in the basement.
Yo, hold the fuck
Oh
up.
my god.
Taking real good
Let
care.
me give the intro before you get into shit like that.
All right.
Anyways, so yeah, this is the intro. So okay, get into shit.
So bad you're sucking dick.
Fuck off.
All right. So for today, we thought a cool topic would be to talk about people's experiences in prison, and we all researched it separately. And for that dickhead that last time said that, oh, we discussed the topics beforehand and all of that. Fuck you, we didn't. We know the general topic, but yeah, we haven't shared any other stories together.
But yeah, so basically, we said we're gonna talk about it. So I think I looked up some shit on Reddit. Basically, it's fucked up, man. Even when we're coming, I told now, I'm like, I need you to mentally prepare yourself.
Yeah.
Because some shit I'm gonna say is dark, and I don't want you to be like, you know what? Let's not talk about it. Let's talk about positive vibes,
I know.
rainbows and sunshine. I'm like, now we're gonna talk about prison stories.
I know. I'm
It's
gonna.
all butt fucking and child molesters. Let's go.
Very much.
I'm gonna
But
try
no.
and be like in the dark mindset. I'll try my best.
Put yourself in that position.
Welcome to the dark side.
In their position.
Sure.
No, don't
Well,
put
I don't-
yourself in their position, but like,
No, but I'm not saying go actually commit the crime, but imagine if that happened, what would you do in prison?
yeah. I mean,
Oh
like,
yeah, I'd love to do that.
All right. Got a little too excited. Okay.
the attitude doesn't match the topic.
The judgment last week. She's like, oh, if it wasn't law, you would do
Yeah.
violence. Now it's like, let's
That's
kill
so
some
true, I did
people.
say that.
Yeah, by the way. What
Yeah.
the fuck?
It's okay. You told me I've had like 3 hours to prepare.
Okay.
Okay.
That's good.
Well, so
Yeah.
do we, by the way. So
You want to go first or you want me to go first?
you go first.
Okay.
But I'll just.
All right, let me find. Okay, this one I specifically picked because you're a woman and you're here. So, are you on board with this whole like movement of like lip fillers and like Botox for women? Like,
What do you mean movement?
I mean, it's become a lot more trendy, I guess, in the past 20 years, right?
I mean, I guess like I just think more.
Have
more
you
people talk-
like
Yeah, like
partaken?
no, not like only Botox because like, you know.
Right? Yeah. Don't want this.
But that's it. But it's more like I mean, I'm not really into the whole like
Okay,
let's look
but
like a
you know,
different person
Botox,
kind of
lip
vibe.
filler, like that kind of stuff.
yeah.
So this
Okay.
story is about it's not a specific person, it's just the prisons in China. And this story broke out in 2005.
Okay.
So first in 2001,
Where's this
the
going?
story broke that in China, the prisoners that get executed, their organs get used into other people, like organ transplant without their consent. So they just
What?
shoot people in the head and then they just take their body parts.
Hang on.
Yeah.
So they kill people who
In prison.
in prison.
Right.
And organ donation.
No, it's not a donation. It's just,
It's like I'm taking it from you.
yeah,
right?
it's
Okay.
like
Theft.
you're dead. Now it's mine.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. So that was in 2001. Then in 2005, it broke out that a few of the cosmetic companies in China, they are getting the collagen they need for like the Botox and the lip fillers and everything from the dead prisoners' skin.
Stop.
And they've been exporting those to countries in Europe, such as UK, and people are buying it because, as they mentioned, it's 5% of the cost of production that's in Europe. So,
Get out.
yeah, so you've done
I
Botox,
could've-
right?
Oh no.
You got some dead prisoners on your forehead.
I think
No, wait.
is
Botox is rat poison.
No, it's not.
I don't know if that's
poison.
more concerning or not.
No, Botox is a very deadly poison.
No, but so
It is a rat
basically,
poison.
what the article said was lip fillers and anti-wrinkle treatment.
But But
That
wait,
could be collagen.
this is
That's
not what
really
I've been
good.
told.
No,
I mean, obviously they're not putting this on their fucking marketing sheet.
no,
Like,
but Botox is different. Botox kill.
It
From what-
paralyzes
Kills the
the
nerves,
muscles.
Yeah, kills it. So that's like.
It paralyzes the muscles,
Yeah,
basically.
no, honestly, I just want to get that one moment to shock.
But
you.
that-
Sure.
That was concerning. No, because
But this is in
imagine, like-
2005. So
Okay, I'm
there
sure
was
we
a lot of
moved on
talk
from
about
that.
like the UK
but
government.
Europe, like I'm confused because don't they do like aren't they very strict on like quality check and stuff?
Now they are 2005. I don't think
Probably
like all
not.
of these were like they were pretty new.
And
That's true.
also, you have to think about 5% of production costs. That's an insane
This
cost.
they
cut.
said it was
Yeah,
5% of production cost after they tightened the rules, and it was even cheaper before.
Damn.
So what are they doing
Yeah.
now then if they're not using
Well,
dead people?
let's talk about this. So the whole thing, the organ trading part, that like the story broke in 2011. It was like Chinese doctors that kind of fled to like UK and all of that, and there's like documentaries on it, and they were saying it reached a point that it became like a kill to order, like a system for wealthy people in China and also tourists. So like.
So if they needed an organ,
You need an organ, they just shoot you in the head, and then the doctors go to one of them was describing they'd go to these like mass grave sites. And as you know, in China, necessarily being in prison doesn't mean you're a criminal.
what?
Sorry.
Yeah, like
What?
there's like it's a communist country, so there's like political prisoners and like minority
I thought they
prisoners
just-
and like
Minority prisoners, yeah.
so like you just get shot in the head and they take you shit.
I mean,
Surely that can't be right.
Well, they
I
even,
mean,
the, the stories of the actual doctors that had the pictures of
Pictures
him at the mass graveside, you know, and there were stories of like hand transplants, livers, like all of that. And the crazy part was the Chinese government in 2015 said we stopped, but then doctors came out in 2019 and said they're still doing it.
Get out. That
Yeah.
was like 3 years ago.
Yeah,
Four,
that was
actually.
pre-COVID. So if you imagine how much,
If anyone you know got a transplant.
not even that, the amount of fresh supply after 2019.
Yep.
Do you think they're still doing it?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Are you crazy? Of course.
Am I
The
crazy?
story was 2005. After 2015, the government's like,
2001.
no,
The
2001.
organ.
And then 2005, they're like, oh, they're doing it. The
Yeah.
story comes out. 10 years, a decade after the government's like, you know what? We stopped now. 4 years after that, they're like, no, but they're still doing it. They
No,
just got
but they
better.
probably came out in 2015 because of social media. Like probably because social media was like popping off and like everyone.
Well, the
was
funny
talking
part
about it.
was they interviewed with I mean, this is what they said in the article. I didn't see the actual interviews, but they asked the companies that were using like the collagens from the dead prisoner's skin. They're like, why are you guys doing this? And they said that this might be a taboo in your country, but in our country, it's pretty traditional. So it was like,
tradition. So
I-
people, sorry. No, I like. Do people not sue these companies or
in
Why
China,
would you?
fuck, you're gonna sue them for?
for using dead people's skin? I'm sure they weren't told about it.
There's not a single company, like a massive company in China, that's not for the government or in cooperation with the
Oh my
government.
God.
Who are you gonna
Also,
sue?
the law is like.
It's tradition.
is very different.
It's tradition.
But wait, hold up. Wouldn't that make sense to do so?
Without their consent.
Without their consent, it's fucked up. But if it's a prisoner and they're dead, like, you have to think about it. Like,
Well, yeah, if it's set up in a country that, like, yes, you get their consent, you don't put people in prison for no reason, and then shoot them in the head based on the order of organs you need.
Yeah,
sure, yeah.
can I get 5 livers, 2 kidneys, 2 hearts?
yeah, literally.
Yes,
You,
chef.
you.
That's so
You said
messed
5?
up.
Okay. 1, 2.
Yeah, but
Ketchup.
they have to like obviously they have to test if they're a match or not. So or do they just
I'm
hope-
sure they have it in blood works in prison, like when you go in.
get out? So there's categories.
Of
like,
course, they're not going to be like, oh, we're going to kill this one.
Oh, yeah.
That's in my match.
You don't think this is like a well organized machine? Like,
Oh my god! So are there other places that do this?
well, I don't think so. But this is not relating to this story. But I've heard this a lot for like people on podcasts that had like organ transplants, and they were saying that after it happened, even from like UFC fighters that like, for example, like they tore ligaments and they put a dead body's ligaments in them, or someone got a heart transplant from like C.T. Fletcher, I think, got a heart transplant from an Asian woman.
Okay.
And most of them say that like after it, they start having weird dreams as if they are the other person.
Yeah, C.T. Fletcher had such a big moment about that.
So I was thinking, yeah, fair enough. Like someone, like when you're alive, you give consent that when I die, take my shit. So your dreams might be a little different. But a prisoner that got shot in the head for no fucking reason and they took your shit, what kind of dreams are you gonna have after that?
True.
Yeah.
The dream's like, wait, where am I? Wait, who are you?
Can you imagine?
But can you imagine about the hand transplant? I know you don't like it, but have you watched Archer?
Some of it, yeah.
Have you seen when they give a guy hand transplant as a white dude, but they give him a black hand?
No.
He was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this?
Oh my god.
It's so messed up. Imagine like,
I think that's one way to save, to like get rid of racism.
what, grab her.
How?
Yeah, go grab every KKK cult's leader,
Anyone that
chop
needs,
their hands and give him a
if
black
you
hand.
need like a body part, I'm not saying through the prison system.
How would
Like,
that end racism?
well, let's say you're a person that lost their hand and they need a new hand. They just put a black one in your hand.
So you're just
But-
stuck with it?
No, but the fucked up part is that
I mean, yeah, it's not, you don't get to change like oil change on a car. Like, yeah.
your solution to ending it is causing actually more violence because then you have to go and chop off a black guy's hand.
No, you go to the donor list. I'm not saying just go in the road. And like,
You're like, this is to stop violence, okay, for the generations. Like, you dude, what are you doing?
no, you go to the donor list and get the shit that's available on the donor list and put it in the other one.
That's so funny. But like, imagine if you like, I don't know, who is this person that got the Asian woman's heart?
CT.
See,
Fletcher.
this like massive bodybuilder dude
He
that
just
was.
feels like an Asian woman after.
No,
Like,
No, he doesn't say he's like, oh, hello,
Yeah.
like
can you imagine? You want some tea?
Swatika. He's not like
What?
that's tight.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm well versed with my racism. Okay?
It sounded a lot like something else, and I was like, "Where are you going with this, bro?
Oh my God.
Where are you going with it?"
Educate yourself.
Pause.
Educate yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, good one. I mean,
Thank
not
you.
good. Like, I feel so uncomfortable. Like,
Would you be opposed to it?
opposed. Yes? Are you kidding? Surely that can't be safe. There's no way.
Okay, let me give you a very hypothetical. Hopefully, this never happens to anyone. But let's say your kid needs a body part. The list is 3 years long, and doctors say he only has a year to live. That happens. Like sometimes,
if it's my kid, of course, like I'll do anything.
yeah, you go to China, you get the
Yeah,
prisoner's
but then
dead shit.
imagine thinking about like
You know what's the
the-
worst part for like heart transplants and stuff? If it's a kid's heart, is better because it has less mileage on it.
mileage.
That's
Yeah.
pretty much what it
Well, I don't know how else to say it. It's
Mileage.
brand new.
You gotta get the
Good
one.
condition.
Yeah.
So like,
Lady driven X-Man.
yeah, but imagine like they start killing like
Oh my god.
Oh my.
I didn't say it. Yeah, just I was like, actually, but then I was like, never mind.
Anyway,
I forgot what I was saying.
same.
No, he's like,
Oh, like
kid
they
has less
they start
miles.
like killing kids in prison because they want the fresh heart. That's
There
on
are
the order.
kids in prison. I thought you meant like minors like 17, not like
Well,
minors
that's still
like
better than a 60-year-old. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know who's in prison
I
in
would
China.
love to know.
It's not like there's a public list. How deep of a research do you think I did here?
Maybe you can choose your organs. Like just look at the list and just be like, I want this one.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it.
Oh my god. I mean, imagine like if you're super wealthy, you probably could go to prison and just be like that one.
Even if you're healthy, like the doctor tells you your liver is at 80%, you're like, fuck it, toss in a new one. Yearly operation, brand new insights.
Oh my god.
There's
You know what?
a guy who this memory could be extremely faulty. And by the way, I took my cold medicine right before this, so like my recall is like not as good. But I remember there was a guy who is taking insane amount of pills to prolong his life, and at the same time, related to that story, someone was commenting about another guy who's obsessed about his health and his organs.
I know which guy you're talking about.
So
He's
not the
obsessed about
200
his
pills a
organs.
day guy.
There's one guy online, he's been going viral for a while. It's like this like skinny, pale white guy.
Yeah,
that he's obsessed with reversing his aging. So he's like 30 something and his kid is like 19. He's like, in 10 years my body age, I want it to be 19. So he's like doing like all kinds of blood tests every day and checking everything up, his skin, everything, and like he eats like 200 pills a day. He's a billionaire that got bored or some shit.
Yeah, but that's like
No, but apparently they did. Again, this I think my fact is coming from a YouTube short. I think that's where yours is coming to. But apparently, the guy, they did tests on him, and the health of his organs were insane.
Yeah, like
it was
I think so far he's reversed his age by like 4 or 5 years.
Are you joking?
Yeah, but all he does every day is
It's
like
just take pills.
he just takes pills,
200 pills a day.
eat like watch his calories,
Yeah, but
and
what's
then
the plan?
to
His dad-
reverse his aging. or
Okay,
something.
but
His dad, I think his dad either passed away really young or something bad happened to his dad. So that caused this obsessive personality of his to be like that.
Well, also like white people who get rich get bored. Some of them go in a submarine. Some of them reverse the age. You know,
Some go to Epstein's Island.
guys,
Anyways.
pause really quickly. Did you know that they're making a documentary about the submarine thing?
I thought they already put it out on the day it exploded.
No,
Yeah.
it came out. It's coming out. There's like a whole documentary coming. Not documentary, like a movie about it.
About what? Oh my god.
There's more-
Yeah. No, what was the cartoon thing? Like Le Finish, Le Finit, something like that.
Oh,
Like they,
the cartoons.
the
like when we were
cartoon Le
younger.
Finit. Like literally the movie 1 second. Oh my god, I'm so excited, Dad.
Oh my god,
Why'd
that's
you
so
have to be the
sad.
kid?
Huh?
Why did it have to be the kid?
It gives a more heartwarming feeling until you're like, oh no.
Honestly, the kid was the
Sorry.
only one. All these accents coming from today. No, the kid was the only one I felt bad for.
Yeah, no, I mean,
The rest of them deserved it.
Yeah, but like, I mean, yeah, true.
Have you actually seen videos of the submarine on other tours they've done before?
no.
Yeah, I
videos
saw
are on
one,
YouTube.
but it was so boring.
Yeah, they're
It
all
was
watching
really
on the
long.
screen.
And like it's like the tiniest hole, like that you're all just like looking into it, you know?
That's-
Whatever. Whatever. I'm on
not-
the wrong podcast.
I'm not even saying anything.
Oh, are you getting invited to Arab? Are you cheating on us now?
Like, what the
All right, okay.
Fine, you know what? Fine.
Time for phase out 3.0.
Yeah.
Like a month, we're gonna be like 460.
Exactly.
But the funny part about it is that you're watching that video of them watching the Titanic shit through the tiny ass hole,
Yeah.
and you're watching it on a bigger screen that they were experiencing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching it
experiencing.
on a 70-inch TV.
So, like that's a whole nother
I
thing.
just don't get it. Anyway, we're going off topic, but
Sorry.
All right, you wanna give one of yours?
Okay, I'll start it with like a funny quote this guy learned in prison.
Quote?
Quote.
okay. Quote.
Quotation.
Quotation. Sentence.
Sentence.
A phrase, if you will.
I don't know any
A
other
phrase.
word. Phrase.
But phrase, like
My luck is so bad that if it were sorry, from now on, till the whole continuation of all the things I'm about
for
to
this
say.
entire podcast.
But my luck is so bad that if it were raining pussy, I get hit with a dick. Like it's the first thing you heard
Oh, wow.
in prison. Like
That
Oh, wow.
sucks.
that's like
None of you gay.
I mean,
if
I
you
don't
say
think.
it
Yeah,
was
I
bad.
don't think. Yeah, he would have used another analogy for surely.
if it was gay, he'd be like, if it were raining day, I get hit with a pussy. Like that's probably the quotation part. So let me see which one am I
It's raining
going
pussy. He's like, and then the dick goes
No, absolutely not.
Put me in solitary. Let me have some fun with this dick.
Yeah, absolutely. I need
Or
to
you
be
get
alone.
bored? Okay, so I'll give a quick one.
Deep
And
Throat
then-
by Odin.
No, Odin. He's been playing Valhalla too many times. So the funny part is that Odin is like a god in the Vikings, but the funny part about it, one of his name is the All Fathers. So it's like getting fucked by the All Daddy. You know? Okay, so one of the stories.
So
This is a
confused.
short one. he was saying that whatever, like this person's friend was in, uh, was it jail or is it prison? I want to make sure. Okay. Basically, he was in prison,
Who?
and
You already lost us.
this guy that I basically read Reddit's post, so like I'm not gonna. The guy's post name, the username is called Rice Crusher, so I don't know.
No,
if I
but like
should-
start from the
Okay, so
beginning.
I'll just read it out. So it says, so I just got sent down the road, and it was my third week in the lockup. Our weekly card games goes nuts as two guys move from talking shit towards to throwing fists. All right. So while being like, so the guards come in and they like grab them and separate them and shit like that. While putting them separately, one of the guys from behind the bar is like, I'm gonna put a honey bun hit on your ass. Okay? So he's like, he looks at his cellmate, he's like, what the fuck is that shit? And he's like, turns out you can have another person stumped down for the price of 20 commissionary honey buns. That is that's a
Yeah.
currency in the prison.
That's not expensive.
I guess it's hard to come
Get
by.
honey buns.
Yeah, well, like think about like what was it $3 a honey bun?
Imagine someone's nickname in the prison was honey buns. It's like, what the fuck?
Not again.
Yeah, every time there's a fight, man.
So like researching for this episode, I was watching a lot of like prison stories and all of that,
Yeah.
and like I was thinking like all the dynamics and like this guy is being viral for this, but he was a drug runner and he was like collaborating with the cartel and everything, and he gets busted, and like he gets busted over weed, which is a minor offense.
Okay.
But he was saying throughout the process of like going through the jail and the court and everything, they would keep moving him from like jail to like different like holding cells and all of that. And every time you enter a new place, this is all U.S. information. I don't know how it is in different countries, but he was saying that they have this system. They say, "Let me check your papers," meaning you can either have good papers or bad papers, meaning you're a crime. Bad paper would mean like if you diddled the kid or if you snitched on someone, and anything else is a good paper. And he was saying that like they were telling him the first place he went to, as soon as they let you into like the public area, someone's gonna fight with you to just test like how you are. And he was saying throughout his time before he gets his sentence, he went to like 5 different prisons / holding places and everything. And he had to get into so many fights that by the time his court sentencing was, he ended up at a maximum level, like maximum security prison. Which
Because he kept fighting people.
because he didn't have a choice. Like you either fight them or they beat the shit out of you, don't respect you, and bully you every day. And if you fight, every time you get like
It's a minor offense.
Yeah,
it's just
you
keep
get a minor
happening.
offense.
So it's basically like you're set up for failure.
pretty much, yeah. So
That
he ended up in a
sucks.
maximum security
No.
with like all like fucking murderers and shit.
It's not a
No.
common thing for a person to keep being moved from one prison to one prison. I'm pretty sure because he was the guy who had ties and connections to the cartel and shit.
No, but they didn't know about his cartel connections.
no, but like there was some suspicion about this not only
no,
a weed
no,
offense.
no, it wasn't. They didn't have anything on him, according to him. I don't
No,
know.
I'm just saying it only makes sense if they're like, we got a big guy with some weak shit and he's gonna get off very quickly. So let's make sure he gets prolonged for this.
That wasn't the story he told.
I mean,
surely
sounds,
he
could
wouldn't
be
say-
biased, but like,
But-
I'm pretty sure he would say that in his own
Curious-
defense. But he was
Is-
saying they didn't know anything about his cartel shit. That's why he did. They tried to like turn him into a snitch to find out like
But is
Like-
is snitching a crime? No.
if you're a criminal and you give away any information, you're a snitch.
Yeah, I know, but you just said it's a bad paper crime.
this is
No. He had okay paper. I was just explaining the paper
Oh no,
process
I know,
as he put
but
it.
I was just wondering if it was a crime.
no,
to
it's
snitch.
it's not it's not accepted to snitch or if you
between your peeps.
yeah, but
the
basic
Crips.
and your peeps have a connection
sorry.
in the no Crips.
STD.
They all just have itchy
Crabs
crotches.
are an animal.
They're all just itching in like crotches.
Why are they
like-
called crabs? I just
I don't
what
know.
used to-
Honestly, I don't know
Do you wanna
because
know
Joey
what I
Diaz
used to
was
say?
talking about it. He said I had crabs and I saw crabs, and I was like, "Do you actually have crabs
I
coming
don't
out
think
of
it's
you?"
an STD that's around anymore. 'Cause
You
no
know
one
what I
talks
thought
about
it was? You know, I thought it was called crabs before.
What?
Because crabs, like, they're like this.
Claws?
So because they're like ticklish, so it makes you itch. So that's where the name come from.
Well, clearly you've never been hit by a crab, like you've never been snapped by a crab.
Well, if
But
they're
that shit's
small.
not ticklish. It's actually like fucking like piercing pain. So that's for one. But two, I don't know, and I'm kind of scared of looking it up because I was listening to Joy Diaz's life story and shit.
I know exactly which one you're talking
And
about.
he was saying I had crabs coming out on the couch and shit. And I'm like, yo, is it
Yeah.
like live shit coming out of you? Like, it's
it
confusing.
could be like small, but you can
Yo, it
still
doesn't
see
matter,
them,
bro.
yeah.
There's small insect like crabs like coming out of you. It's fucking terrifying, like idea to have.
Oh, but the reason I brought up the thing,
Sorry.
going back to it, that he said he kept getting moved up is like so the prisons have a different section for snitches and the child molesters because the public, what do you call it? The
PB and SDGEF. I think
All right.
something like that.
so the main area they keep them separate from the child molesters and the snitches because otherwise they would kill them. So he
People
was
would kill
saying
them.
the other
The
prisoners,
inmates.
if you're a child molester in prison and they find out, they kill you.
I have a story
Or
for
if
that.
you're a snitch. But he was saying that so in that process, like if you don't want to get into fights and everything, you can ask for protective custody. Then they move you to the part that snitches and the pedophiles are. So not only you have to hang out with them every day, but then everyone else will look at you as
As
if you're
a
a snitch, unless if by any chance they can communicate with you, they tell you to go kill that snitch. And then if you don't kill that snitch,
Then they kill
by
you.
proxy, you're a snitch.
Oh
So
my
then like there's all these like
God.
traps, or like there was another guy was talking about he was in one prison, and in that prison like racial groups wasn't a thing. Like you could, like the guy was white, he was like, I could interact with blacks, Mexicans. I know
Okay.
the terminology sounds a little rough, but that's how they used it.
Okay.
But then he got moved into California, which is very like heavy on the whites and like a specific group of whites, the Nazis and all of that.
Yeah.
And he was saying he didn't know that. So he started like interacting with like the black people and the Mexicans and everything. And the whites put a hit on him. And he was saying that like, I didn't know what is happening. I just like, he's like, I would go. He said that he was in a cell. The door opens and then this guy just rushes in, tries to stab him. But this guy was a professional MMA fighter. Beats the fuck out of the guy, elbows him unconscious, throws him out of the hallway. Like he throws him into the hallway. Later on, finds out that, I think this is California specific, each group, he described it this way, that each group, if you imagine it as a car, and the leader is the key holder.
Okay.
And each group doesn't make a decision without the key holder, the leader
Right.
allowing it. And also if there's like altercations between like
Yeah.
racial altercations, the key holders talk to each other to try to keep the peace. Turns out the guy he knocked out was the actual person, the key holder for the whites. So now he became the key holder,
Oh!
in charge of all the fucking Nazi sympathizers
Yeah.
and shit. And he's like, I didn't know what the fuck happened, and I didn't want that. But in order for him, and if you're the first year in prison, you're not allowed to be a key holder. But for anyone to take the key from you, they have to beat you in a fight. And no one wanted to beat him in a fight. So he was like, I was stuck in this fucking position with a bunch of dumbass people that like are kind of like respecting me, and I don't want to have anything to do with them. And it's like, there's all these fucking like potholes that like,
Wow, that's insane.
yeah. Or
You
like
know?
there was oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I just want to say I had no idea that prison was like that. I literally
Well,
thought
they
you
don't
could
sit
just
around
go.
and sing kumbaya. Like, you know,
Huh?
they don't sit around and sing kumbaya. Like,
Yeah,
you
but
know.
like I thought you could just go in there, do your time, and get out.
So he was saying that again in America, there's like 3 or 4 major groups. You got the Mexican, the whites, the blacks, and then the other one is like people who are not affiliated with any group. And I read it in a different article. That, like,
Non-binary.
basically, yeah. But I read it in a different group that they were saying that usually the groups, the gangs, like it's like frowned upon for a gang member to pick on a non-affiliated member, and if they do, sometimes their own gang beats them up.
Okay.
But then it means that you can't trade it with anyone. Like for example, you can't give a fucking honey bun for a coffee or anything with them. You can makes living hard, and also if you're going to eat food at the chow hall, as they call it, you have to wait till all the gang members sit down at their tables, eat, then you sit down. You're not allowed to sit with any of the gang members.
What's gonna happen?
If you sit with them?
No, if you just sit.
No, so there's rules. They beat the fuck out
There's
of
a
you.
culture.
You
Basically,
either have
prison
to.
culture. Like there's set of principles and rules you gotta
It's like
But
follow.
what about the
unwritten rule.
guards and stuff?
Okay, I have stories for you on that
Yeah,
one
I'm
too.
sorry for that
They
one.
don't help?
Well, it depends how corrupted the prison is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but wait. So if it's corrupted, isn't there like a head guy that's like you
He's
can't?
the
Sometimes
do
the
most
this?
head guy
corrupted.
is corrupted too,
And why would they be corrupted?
because they get paid nothing and criminals pay them, or power gets to your head.
I didn't think it was this bad, guys.
It depends on the country you're talking about. Like
Yeah,
fucking-
even like in US, I'm sure it's not every prison.
no,
every,
in
you
US,
know?
yeah, but like fucking, have you seen the prisons in like I don't know,
Sweden?
like Sweden?
Yeah, or Finland. I think that's where they like have proper desks and like their
They
own
have a
bed.
desk, bed,
Like, it's
I think
so
there's a
chill.
sauna or some shit. Like, like
That sounds
I
so
feel like
good.
some people would be like, okay, I'm gonna go to Sweden and I'm
Like
gonna commit
killers.
crime.
No, but I saw a documentary, and I think it was like either like Switzerland or like one of these countries that have really cool prisons, and the prisoners were still complaining. It was like, shut the fuck up. Yeah, shut the
Grass is always greener, huh?
Yeah.
Like,
Is it
fuck up.
true that homeless people commit crimes just so they can have somewhere to stay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
But there's some homeless people who prefer not, like when people approach them to be like, we'll take you to this shelter, whatever, to give you food and all
Yeah.
that, they refuse.
Why?
Because they're like, I make more money on being on the street and like, and they have a sense of home into
in
the
the
streets.
street.
They're
No,
like, I
but
don't
also shelters. There's different things to it. Like
Also, it
if you're a
depends
drug
on-
addict, you
yeah,
can't use drugs in a shelter.
give-
Like,
yeah, that's the main
or
point, too.
I heard stories they steal shit from you.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, so it's not like all like nice.
Should I say a quick story?
Yeah.
You were gonna say something though.
No. I just have a short prison guard story, but
I'll say one. It's
You-
something.
you
short
say your
story,
long-
You
okay.
go through that. So there's a story about this. In this prison, the prison guard brings a fresh inmate in, and he's like, "This guy molested a kid."
Oh,
And he molested the again. Sorry for the way we're saying it, but it's just how it's described in the comments and like the writings. But he molested a black kid, and the one of the people in the gang says that that's my nephew. So they fucking beat the shit out of the
surprised
guy
they didn't kill him.
to the point where the guard comes back after 10 minutes and grabs the bleeding body. It wasn't dead, but it was just fucking bleeding out of his head. Bleeding body and dragging him. He's like, oh, we forgot. Because he molested a kid, he has to go to that section. They forgot, as in air quotes, because the guard was probably like, let's fuck up this kid, this guy who touched the kid and
Yeah,
shit.
but like he's already gone to prison. Like he's doing his time. I mean, I understand, like, obviously.
you have to.
But-
There is a sense to this. Sorry, just there are two things. One, people who molest kids are the lowest of low. That's why they get beat the fuck up, because that's like
Yeah.
the shittiest thing. Like how
Yeah,
that's
yeah, I
pure
know.
evil. If you want to go after it,
I know, but like,
yeah, like
it's
if
just
a gang
more
member
like,
kills another gang member, it's like what they signed up for. Or if you rob a store, you know
that's
what?
true. Like,
Yeah.
But like
I just
taking advantage
I know,
of like the
but I was more just thinking of like obviously I'm not talking about that. Like I know they're like the scum of the earth, but I mean, like, so guards like don't help you out. Like, what if you're like wrongfully convicted and you end up in prison and like, you know.
there's not a lot
Like,
of stories about
that's
those.
like that's like my biggest fear, like being wrongfully convicted for something.
There's actually a
and then
good
just-
show. There's a good drama show 50 Cent produced, and it's
I
based on
heard
a
about
real
this.
guy.
Yeah,
Have you seen this?
I've heard about it,
I
but I
think it's
haven't
like
seen it.
Life or something
We
like that. It
talked
has
about
life
this
in
before as well. I
it. Have
think.
we?
I'll
Okay.
pull it up. I guess.
Yeah, but it's about this guy that gets framed by the police because I don't want to spoil it too much, but he goes to prison
Yeah.
and he finds a loophole on how to become a lawyer in prison
No.
to defend his own case.
Cool, and then he appeals.
For life.
Yeah, for life. Yeah, yeah, and it's based on a real story. But
That's a cool
unfortunately, the
story.
show got cut off after like first or second season.
Still a cool story though.
Yeah,
So the second point, other than the fact that they're lowest of low, is the fact that there is this person commented this, and it's like obviously there are people who agree, people who just disagree. They said that the guy who was commenting and said that I work at this correctional centers, like the people go to, and there was this guy who would like legit beat you like half dead with no remorse.
Why?
Like it's just anger issues and whatever.
Oh.
A guard or a prisoner?
No, a prisoner.
Okay.
Correctional means that they're not prison; they're more like an inmate, like a person.
A potential
Correctional
criminal.
facility.
Potential. Regardless, the guy in the facility would do this stuff, but he was saying that like whenever someone would like that had any affiliation with like of the crime of molesting a child, when he would beating him up, he would be smiling while doing it, because it's about that like I'm still gonna do the action that I do, but I feel better about myself by beating you up. So you feel. Now we haven't even gotten to the bad parts.
I just I picture myself being someone in for example, ever be like if I were ever in a place like that, I just feel like I don't have that strong of a personality.
Can I suggest a show to you? So the show
No.
is they take like 5 or 6 like normal people, civilians,
Okay.
and they put them undercover in prison for 30 or 60 days.
Oh,
And you
okay.
watch them try, and like a few times they took like correctional officers from other prisons and put them as inmates into
Oh my
those
God.
prisons. But now the show has gone for so long that prisoners know about it. So you see if in a few seasons the prisoners suss out that they're like,
Oh my
oh,
God.
the
Oh
cameras
my
around are
God.
for you, not for this fucking bullshit story that the prison sold us. And then they start treating them differently, try testing them, and like you see, like this is mostly with guys who are like, oh yeah, I can survive anything. And then you can see like they put a few like actual police officers there, and they made a few bad decisions, and like half the prison turned on them, and the show had to pull them out because if they left them there, the prisons would have killed them, because these are like maximum security prisons. But even in women's prisons, it's like
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was more like
No,
I thought
no.
it was more like men.
No.
Also, I didn't know they were separated for like a really long time.
I mean, otherwise it'd be a house party. Like,
That sounds fun, actually.
yeah.
no, not really, because like I don't know.
I mean,
It's just
like,
some sort of class of criminals. Imagine if they had access to actual like.
yeah, I know,
criminals,
but
that'd
I'm
be
saying like
fucked
I
up.
thought they were like it was a shared like it was weird to me that it was separated. I don't know why I thought that was weird.
Yeah, that.
I
is
guess
what
it's
it
more-
is because it makes more sense if we separated.
Well, I guess they do it for a reason. But did you guys hear about that guy that
The trans.
identified as a woman
Yeah.
to go into the woman prison? He wasn't actually a woman, like.
Oh, he just,
Or maybe he
I
did.
think we talked about.
Oh,
this.
actually, maybe
He got 2 chicks pregnant. In
he
women's.
actually went in. Oh,
Oh,
my
he
God.
went in. He
went
fucked him real
in.
good. Yeah.
No, but I remember there was this other trans influencer that got sentenced to a men facility, and it's a she now.
Right.
She properly looks like a woman. So, bro, like
It was on, huh?
she was terrified. She was like, "I'm a woman. Please put me in one." And I was like, "Yeah, I bet you want to identify as a woman now, full on, because like it would have been
To
bad."
be fair,
I don't know what
if
happened after.
let's say if I transitioned into a woman and I looked pretty, and they were forcing me into a male prison still, I'd just find the biggest baddest dude and become his girlfriend. Like
Yeah.
it's better than
mean,
getting
yeah,
butt
that's
fucked
like-
every day with like a bunch of guys like
Well, you
running
got
a
the
train on me. Like,
Biggest guy like running a train. Yes.
it's still one dick a day. Like, you know?
But yeah, so that was.
Would you?
I don't know.
Anyway,
There is this rule in prison that they say if you're serving 20 years, if the last 6 months before you're released you don't do anything, none of them count. So like if you're in prison for 20 years and you like
For 19 years, you have a boyfriend.
you have a boyfriend, after like 6 months before you're released, you like kind of become what is it?
Celibate, yeah.
Celibate. Yeah, it does. None of them count.
You're not gay.
that's so
Why are you
dumb.
looking at me so concerned?
That's
It's
so
not like
dumb.
No, but the logic
Who
thing.
makes up these rules, by the way?
Fucking
don't
prisoners. Like,
do you want to really argue with them? Because I don't. And I prefer you not to. Because then
I
have to.
wouldn't even argue. I would just like reason with them. Like if they came up to me
Yeah,
and were
because
like,
they're such reasonable debaters sitting
Actually, I
there.
believe there's a lot of reason, a lot of rules that they make. Like
Yeah, but that's the
majority,
case
I
that, like,
I'll
if
be
you're-
like, I want to talk to your leader.
Okay,
All right.
Karen.
Okay, Karen.
Karen.
I'm not Karen. I want to understand.
Can I talk to the manager, please? Like the keys, like
No, the logic behind it is like this is only for like long sentence. It's not like if you're in prison for a year and you fuck for 6 months. This is like for a guy that has like close to life, and like they're saying is out of necessity, basically.
Hang on. So if like you go to prison for like
First of all, don't ask me like my expert on this. Like,
no, but you read on it. So no, it's also general knowledge. Probably.
right?
If you go to prison for like a year,
Yeah.
do you also go through all this stuff that you guys talked about?
Depends on the level of prison you go to.
No,
I
but like if
imagine.
you go to prison for
No.
like tax fraud or
No, those
The
are
tax-
tax
no, wait,
evasion
those
or
are
whatever.
different prisons.
there is difference though. Tax fraud, it
White
depends because
Sorry.
that happens. But the thing is that if you go to prison for 1 year, that's a minor offense. Therefore, the prison you've been placed in is a chill prison.
No, but some people go away for like 25 years for
No, but
embezzlement.
also-
20 plus is life. 20 years is life sentence
Yeah.
in the States, and that's usually regarding murder.
You don't. I don't think you get 20 years for tax fraud.
for
And even if you-
embezzlement and stuff.
I don't think you
Depends
get
on
20.
what you did,
But
bro.
even then, you go to white collar prisons,
Yeah.
so it's very different. Like,
Oh yeah, sorry.
Is
you're
white
right.
collar because they wear white collar?
No,
I
blue
don't-
collar is for people who do like
Yeah, but I
that
thought
doesn't apply to
mining
prison.
and stuff.
I thought
Blue
like
collar
the
is
blue
like,
collar is because
uh,
the construction workers wear
yeah.
stuff with blue collar.
I actually don't know the origin of. It could be.
Okay.
It makes sense.
Anyway, let's
when
move
you
on.
say it, yeah.
Kind of look it up. It's okay.
All right, let me give you a story about the guards while he looks it up. So this is in. They found out about this story in 2013 in a county prison, a York County prison in Pennsylvania. They found out the guards are running a fight club with the
That's
prisoners.
So cool.
No,
No.
it's not consensual.
cool.
They just throw people in there and make them fight.
Oh, I thought you can like be a
No,
part of
it's
it.
not like a club that you join and like get training for it. So the prisoners refer to it as either fight club or retard club.
Huh?
Yeah, so they will take people who are like slightly like mentally
Oh, no.
challenged and shit. And no, but not even just mentally challenged. Like one of the guys said he had like severe depression and stuff.
Oh.
They'd either make them fight, and they would tell them that like, oh, if you win, we give you like we'll give you rewards at the end, but they never did, according to the prisoners that sued the actual prison. But the things that they would do to them, some of them was other than fighting, they would like make them consume large amounts of milk, up to 16 cartons in 1 hour. So like 16 liters of milk till they vomit, or
Why?
just for their
This
pleasure.
sounds like a frat, by the way.
Yeah, kind of does. Or they would put like pepper spray in water and make them drink it till they vomit. Or
creative.
the worst one was they would make a soup that's either from expired food or from like cleaning chemicals, and make them eat it till they vomit or like pass out, or I don't know. And they would like promise them like extra food and everything, and they never got it. And then the articles I found were from 2013, 14, and 15 that there was apparently 11 guards involved, but they only charged 3 of the guards. And I don't know if the case actually ever like they won the case or not. But the prisoners, after they came out, or while they were in prison, they wrote letters to like other police officers outside of the prison they were in, and then they opened a file against them, and like they tried to like sue the prison.
So they would make the prisoners fight each other, or make they would
No,
fight
the prisoners. They would make them wrestle.
You know, the pepper spray thing sounds really like creative.
What? Sorry.
Like-
They would put like they call it pepper foam into water and make them chug it, or drink 16 gallons of milk in 1 hour, or expired soup mixed with like cleaning chemicals.
It does sound like a frat. Like,
Yeah, it
Yeah,
does
right?
actually. Yeah.
But the
Like-
16
They accept this,
gallons
they
of
would beat
milk
you.
Is fucked up. Like I don't,
Yeah, they would vomit.
That's the
They'd
messed
vomit.
up part, not the expired, the cleaning
you just
chemicals.
you just throw up. But like the 16, if you I thought you were supposed to keep it down because
No,
you die.
no,
Like,
it was just till they vomit basically.
oh, okay. All of them
Yeah.
vomit.
This was just like your first year of frat or something,
Pretty close.
or
I'd
rush
imagine.
week, or whatever it's called, or
Rush.
phasing, hazing,
hazy.
shazing,
good,
whatever.
yeah.
That was
Yeah.
it. That was a short story.
You know, actually,
That's really funny.
You mentioned something, so I looked it up. The white color, blue color.
Yeah.
that is the case.
No
Makes sense.
way.
So
Makes
white
sense.
color
Guys.
got coined in like 1930s because people who went to office jobs and everything
They wore
did
white
and
shirts,
still do
yeah.
wear white shirts. blue color comes because like people who did like construction workers usually wore dark blue color shirts to hide the color of dirt. And there's a third term actually called pink collar, and guess what?
It's for women.
It's for women. Like
That is. What do you mean?
but this is 1960s. Okay, so no need to talk to the manager kind of a style at me. This is about like the pink collar was for woman assumed jobs. So nurses, teachers, and secretaries.
You're a secretary.
You're a secretary. What the fuck? Like,
That's so rude.
how am I getting like?
What about like CEOs and stuff?
Okay, 1960s.
Yeah, but I want to understand like where this went down.
Again.
Do you not understand sexism? What do you mean?
I'll call the manager for you. Like, I'm not the one telling you this.
Also, why are you so offended? Girls wear pink all the time.
Yeah, by the way.
Just look at the
Why
picture of
do you
people.
assume
By the way,
that?
I don't
I'm pretty
assume.
sure
I
the
just looked at the
person
people
who-
in the line for Barbie.
the writer who coined the term was
A woman?
a woman. American writer and social critic Louise Cap Howe later used and publicized in the 1970s. I don't know. Louise.
I mean,
sounds
pink
like
collar, I guess they had to categorize it somehow, but I hope they don't have that these days. Like,
Well, I've never heard the term pink collar until right now. I've heard white and blue collar, but I've never
yeah,
heard,
white and blue, obviously.
Yeah, but I've never heard the pink. So, I guess
Interesting.
You said you have a crazy story.
Yeah. So I have a couple, but one of them was very disturbing.
Let's go with that one.
Okay, both of them are like kind of
depends.
disturbing.
Okay, can you give like one
Violent.
word for each one, and I'll choose one.
Well, I'm gonna say both anyway.
Okay.
You can tell one. You can choose which one goes first.
Okay.
Okay. But you gotta guess it anyway, so like it doesn't ruin it. Stabbing.
Okay.
Nice.
It's a tough one.
We gotta.
Both sound really good.
We gotta.
Maybe stabbing.
Okay. Well, I'll say this one anyway. Like she just maybe wants to like start. Okay, can I ask a stupid question before we do this? Because I didn't look it up. I just read the full story.
Sure.
What's a durag?
Durag
Oh,
is the
it's-
thing. Okay, this is gonna sound off. African Americans wear to cover their hair. It's like a. Sometimes it looks like velvety, like silky rag.
Or the
wear.
black thing?
Not always black.
It's
Yeah.
always black, but like
Yeah,
they wear
usually I've
it
seen
when they
that
go to
color.
sleep, so they don't mess up their hair.
Also,
I
when
think.
they want to get the waves.
Yeah, I think that's why they wear.
sound
I don't
so
actually
white
know
right
why.
now.
I've
I
What's
didn't
a
want to get the
do-rag?
wave.
I've asked like her before because like, obviously she watches like shows like Love Island and stuff. Like I see the people who are black like they wear this to sleep. I'm like,
I don't actually know why they do it. But I
I
know
think
that
it's
that's-
because the curlier your hair is, the more tangled it can get. I think so. I'm not sure.
We should look it up to find out. We sound so uneducated right now.
I
To be
wouldn't say
fair, like,
uneducated,
it's not like
just
we live-
culturally. We're not very exposed.
That's
to
true.
such
We
things.
live in
That's
Middle
true.
East, so it's different culture, you know.
Please.
No, but we do have black friends. Like it's like white people, like, but we do. Anyway, so I'll tell that story. So this story was written by he actually said it as he was writing. He's like, I can finally write this because the court case gave me the okay to be able to publicly talk about it. He was a police guard, police guard. No, not police guard. Sorry, guard on duty. But he was the one in charge. I don't know what's the term.
main guy.
Yeah, officer in charge, something like that. Yeah, the main guy, basically. So it was 4th of July. He was like having like a couple beers, like 1 or 2 beers at the barbecue, stuff like that, with his wife. And like they were at his parents' house, and the wife was like, take the night off and stuff like that. But he was like, no, but because other people have to be called in, and it's like it's a night. She was in a night shift.
Okay.
Anyways, drops her home, gets to the prison, and like I'm sorry about all the details because he literally was like, it's 12 a.m. stuff, this that, and all these stuff. So he's like, we have to do like patrols around the prison. Like we have to check like the blocks and everything. And the one that he was in charge of was like the fucked up one. Like that section that he was, there was 200 cells, and that's just one area of it.
That's a lot.
And he was like, that's the the worst of the worst in that area. That was my duty on that night. So he gets like I don't know, they tell him what's the stuff for the night you have to do, shit like that. He's like, oh, all good. He does the tour, sits down, then all of a sudden he hears a heckling laugh, like a witch laugh kind of thing from one of the prisons coming out, like cells coming out. Nothing alarming because a lot of them have like drugs apparently is a very big problem in that
Oh,
prison.
they like take drugs there and stuff?
Yeah, he was like,
Okay.
there is and still is a problem in that prison. And like,
So why don't they just search and snatch?
Because they still bring it in.
they're still gonna be brought in. Like it's
Yeah.
a big business in prisons and everything in terms of drugs and stuff. Joy Diaz, like, listen to his podcast. Fucking amazing story about that. But anyway, so he's like, I gotta. Then it continued. So he's like, okay, I gotta go do the round again. Does basically 100 cells at the first floor, the ground floor, 100 cells on the
Wow.
top floor, and he.
She's impressed by the structure.
The architecture of how they built it.
Bit, like, okay.
You've never been in a hotel.
100.
Yeah, okay.
So he gets to the second floor, and mostly everyone were asleep. And by the way, like from other posts that I've read, obviously it's not a nice place to stay at. We're all very
It's not
much-
the Hilton, that's
Yeah,
for sure.
That's for sure. But like in general, it's not some prisons are even worse than what you can think of. Apparently, they
mean?
keep the lights on. They don't turn
Why?
off the lights.
Why?
It's a psychological torture.
It's psychological torture. It's always freezing. It's so cold there. Apparently.
Oh my god, that would
You don't-
suck.
I mean, you're wearing a blanket and a sweater.
Yeah, I'm
like,
sure
in
this is not the
room.
treatment
In
I would
Dubai.
get.
In Dubai. And sorry.
I'm sure this isn't what I would be getting in prison.
No, dude, you don't get blankets. You get like
You get a sheet.
no, you don't like. Some of
No.
them don't even get like a proper sheet. They get like these sheet with holes in it, and that's all you have.
Yeah, and then you
Because
have
they
to.
can't, then they won't be able to kill themselves.
Yeah, or like that show I was telling you, when you'd first go in, they'd give you like, for example, one set of sheets and everything, but some of them, like they weren't cleaned properly from like with there was like
Ew.
blood on it and stuff because it was a female prison, or like there was one that the prison guard went undercover.
Yeah.
And she was saying that like I've been here for like I don't know 16 days. They haven't given me a pad or like sanitary
Oh
products.
my god,
and
that
like
sucks.
yeah,
That sucks.
because the prison guard in charge of that was bad, like didn't like her or something. So she wouldn't file
So
the
what did
request
she
she had.
do?
She had to like she basically started a riot in the prison. Yeah,
Fair enough. Like that's basic needs. That's like
yeah, because she was a prison guard. She's like this fucked up.
Oh.
Yeah, she's a prison guard undercover as a prisoner.
that's messed
Yeah,
up.
and
That's
like the
messed up.
prisoners were teaching her how to like make like panty liners out of like socks and stuff.
You
like,
have to.
Yeah.
You're desperate
But
times.
anyways, continue.
Anyway.
One of them was a toothbrush thing that I was like, what the fuck? It's like a sponge, mint flavored sponge,
Yeah.
stuck on a candy
Stick.
stick. That's their
Oh.
toothbrush. That's
I
how
mean,
they-
desperate times, like
No, but that's what they're given.
yeah, but desperate times, like you gotta do what you gotta do. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
No, I understand.
Yeah,
that
but like
desperate
it's
times you gotta
obviously
make it what
it's
we-
obviously they're not giving them their basic needs. Like
Yeah, I
you know,
know.
all pads and everything. Those are basic needs. Everyone thinks that it's not like a basic need. It is a basic need. Like, what are you meant to do?
Oh, yeah, I understand. I'm just saying, like, even the toothbrush. But like,
So anyway, your story.
so he goes and like, everyone was this everyone mostly were asleep, but he sees this one guy who's facing the wall, but is talking to himself. So he's like, there's something up with this guy and stuff like that. And he goes and he's like, he says, hey, whatever.
Like, turn around.
Turn around. And he says, shut the fuck up to him, to the guard.
Oh.
So the guard was like, I was going to let it go until the disrespect. That's fucked up. So I got to search his thing.
This is so. Why did I? Is this a disturbing one?
No.
This is not the
No,
disturbing
it's not
one.
really disturbing. It's just like this is not bad at all.
I mean,
I
he
think-
labeled it as stabbing, so I can't imagine it has a happy
I just
ending.
don't understand where the stabbing part is.
Well, wait for
Wait
it.
for it.
Okay. Tell me!
The great thing about this,
You're making too much build up, bro.
No,
I know,
bro.
just
You have
get
to
to
realize.
it.
Yeah, fuck that guy. He doesn't know how
the
to tell a story.
amount I read just how much I'm summarizing for you. So I mean, he goes to the petrol station, like the station where they're at, and he's like, "You gotta check this cell." Like he sends them there, and they take the guy out, and the man, they're all on the second floor, right? And the guy is there, and himself, the officer is like, "Come down," while they're searching, and he's refusing. He's not like
Would
thinks
they
like he's
just
not
take
here.
him down then?
But the other two guards were like actually searching his cell. So it's like I'm worried because if he attacks my guys, like I'm
What are you
down
gonna
here,
do?
I don't
Yeah.
have anything to do, so
Yeah.
I gotta go up. So he goes up, and he's obviously a bit like scared and on edge because the guy is a very big, muscly, 250-pound guy, like twice his size and stuff. And he's like, I was already on edge when he was next to me. And I acted very casual with him. I was like, listen, I have a quota to meet every night about how many cells I check.
Like,
And
just
did
make
one
my
of
life easier. Like,
yours one of them, and I saw that you're awake, so I didn't have to wake anyone up.
oh, that's a
So
good way to approach
He came
it.
up with a good lie to like relax the situation.
Except the guy's a crazy motherfucker that's talking to a wall. Like, I don't think, like...
Yeah, but I'm sure it's not the
Big
only
note
one.
is that the guy took a while to come out,
Okay.
and but like 5 minutes to come out of the cell, even though the only thing he was wearing was his boxer shorts and a do-rag, not even his flip-flops. That's
Okay.
it.
I'm gonna have nightmares.
So I haven't even gone into
I know, but
anything.
this is scary.
Not.
Imagine if I was like roommates with this guy. I'd be like,
What the fuck? Like,
All right. Okay.
so anyways, like, I feel like everyone's like, what?
We just established that men and women are in separate prisons. So, like,
yeah, that's true. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So anyways, then as the guy turns his head,
Okay.
he sees a Samsung logo in the durag, like
Oh,
a
shit,
flash thing.
okay.
So he knows he has a phone on it.
Okay, so he's not crazy. Okay. So,
So as the guy was tense and everything, he kind of like with his walkie-talkie, he kind of signals that I need backup because he knew there was gonna be like a problem. So two other people come. He always changed the names of the people he even said, but regardless, one person out of 5 that were there, one of them had a vest on. That's it. None of them had a
well, that's
vest.
dumb.
But it was a prison thing. Like they didn't have a vest. Only one of them was required. That's a prison.
you don't
thing,
accept them to have guns.
So
the prison guards don't have guns
No, prison guards have. Prisoners aren't going to have guns, so why would you need vests?
if you get stabbed.
The vest isn't going to
I
stop
feel like I should
stabbing.
have changed the title of what I was going to propose because now you're just like, okay, get to the stabbing. Okay, so basically, he's like, listen, man, you got a phone. I can see it. Give it to me.
Yes, daddy.
So, I
mean,
whoa.
Honestly, what did he expect? Like a yeah, sure, here, take
No,
it.
so apparently the guy actually relaxes
Okay.
when the guy says that. He relaxes and he reaches, but instead of that, he brings out a metal rod and he goes at the guard. And he keeps going for the abdomen, but he keeps blocking it. So he switches and goes higher to the chest area.
Oh.
He hits him and everything, and then the other guards come in immediately, try to pull him, and then like they kind of pin him. So the guy kind of runs because he's like, the guy's about to fucking kill me, so I'm gonna run. So he runs a little bit further, and it looks like he's not there, but he sees the other two are still like dealing with the guy.
my God.
But the guards are apparently fucking professional, so apparently one of them grabbed him by the neck and just body slammed him backwards into the ground.
Wait, he looked back and saw that who wasn't there.
Like the prisoner wasn't chasing him because the prisoner went after to kill him.
Okay, cool.
So they cuffed him up and everything. The lieutenant showed up, and when the lieutenant showed up, they were talking and everything. He was trying to tell what's happening, and then he's like, "Never mind. I can see blood coming out of your shoulder." And he pulls up, and he goes to the ER. He got stabbed right above that arm, like a hand. He got stabbed here, and he got stabbed in the chest. I want to say something though. He also uploaded the picture of the stabbing
Oh my god.
on a Google Drive.
Why?
And I went on the link to. I was curious. I was going to check how bad is it. It didn't look that bad. It looks like a literal, but it was a through and through. So it was like a one singular hole.
through and through, that's
here.
bad.
This was through and through.
That's
Yeah, but you also have to
bad.
think about the situation.
Yeah, but he didn't show the chest one. But apparently that hit the rib
Yeah.
and didn't hit the lung. Because
Oh,
if
you
he
got
hit the
lucky.
lung, he
You
would
would
have.
have been done.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. Wow, that's
he got
insane.
lucky. But there is more to the story, and the problem here's the big thing. So he got fired. He
What?
was forced to quit. He was forced to resign
Why?
for health reasons because he got like injured at job, and everyone in the place has cut off connections with him. But thankfully, because of his situation, now every guard needs to wear vest.
Oh, that's good.
So that's one good thing. But him himself, he can't get a job at any prison now.
How come?
They refuse his applications.
How come?
Apparently, like that's the thing. He was like, I'm thinking about actually suing the prison and everything because I risked my job and now I'm like
Risk your
being
life.
denied pay and a work opportunity because of their
But why'd they
fault.
force him to leave?
It
Like,
could be that like instead of I don't know, it could be like a publicity thing. That like
yeah, but he's coming out anyway.
yeah, but anonymous on Reddit.
Yeah,
Instead of like a
anonymous on
news
Reddit.
channel. It could be like an NDA
Oh, maybe
thing.
he's-
Another,
signed something.
another prison guard actually replied to that comment and said I was in the same prison. It was pretty bad too. And which
Maybe he, like, if they fire him, there's something in his contract where he can never like sue them.
no, he didn't
Oh, he was
fire.
saying-
He
If he
didn't get
resigned.
fired. It was
I
more
know,
like,
but like, if he leaves by choice, he can never sue them or whatever.
no, it definitely isn't because he was like I'm thinking of suing them. There was something more to it. I just like it was
That's
a
very
long
weird.
story.
It's a weird ending, though.
Yeah, like basically he lived, but like that's how he got pretty fucked in the process.
Shit.
Like it was a pretty bad shit. Like
That's a horrible job, man. All day long you're on. I mean,
Edge
not
it's-
even all day long, man. It's a night shift. So
Yeah.
no, actually night shift doesn't sound bad.
That's pretty bad.
half the time they'll be in like sleeping.
And they're all in their cells.
Yeah,
That's
you
true. They're
know,
not like out
They're
and
in the
about.
daytime is the where they all go to the fucking
yard.
shit. I was
Yeah,
gonna
but
say
how do you
thing.
get the metal rod?
Oh, they just break it off and like.
How do you get a phone? That's if he can get a phone, metal rod.
Yeah, how do you get
doesn't-
the phone? I thought they like.
There's a
don't
lot
allow
of
them.
like there's different. Apparently, there's different ways to smuggle it in. A lot of it is through like kitchen products. Like so,
Do you think the staff are like?
the staff are prisoners. The cooks and everyone. It's like a if you're on good behavior, for example, they give you work, they give you duty. So one of them is like kitchen stuff, and let's say you have connections outside, and the person that's bringing the food, you fucking shove a phone in a cantaloupe or something. I don't know. But even with
That's
Rod,
creative, bro. Like cantaloupe, that's the one you could think of. Like
I don't-
not a bag of chips, maybe. Like
okay, whatever, but you get the point. But
Yeah.
even with like metal rods and everything, because US has this system which apparently there's a lot of corruption in it, because a lot of prisons in US are private companies. They're not run by the government, and they can take certain prisoners on different like jobs outside of prison. For example, be emergency firefighters or I don't know, for like different shit, but they don't pay the prisoners. They pay them like, I don't know, $50 a day. But the private prison gets grants from the government, and they just pocket the money. That's one of the reasons they say that
Sucks.
the whole prison system in U.S. promotes having prisoners in instead of like
Actually helping them.
yeah,
out.
actually helping them, because it's a private company, for-profit company.
Is it a private company?
Yeah, a lot of majority of prisons in U.S. apparently are private
How
institutions.
would you make money out of that?
How would you get grants from the government, and then you don't buy them toothbrush and pads and shit. You don't put proper security. You don't give a shit about, and then you set them up as firefighters. Like the fires in, for example, California every year, that like the jungle start burning and shit. Half of the firefighters are prisoners. But instead of paying them a minimum wage, even let's say firefighters get minimum wage, they pay them $50 a day or $50 an hour.
So they just wouldn't do the job properly.
It's not even that. It's prisoners are happy to not be in prison. So any job they can get their hands on, it
True.
also helps their sentence if they go for like an appeal process.
And wouldn't they just run?
No, apparently not. I don't know. Also, if you're in a burning jungle, where fuck you gonna run to?
towards the fire or you know,
Towards the people that are gonna get you. Like,
lose man if you're gonna run.
okay, so
The sorry, I was
No.
gonna say like there was one story about. Actually, two stories have popped up lately. There was that like a guy was in prison for like 20 years. On the last day, he escapes prison
right.
and he kidnapped someone and held them at a gunpoint, and then he got back to prison. He went back to prison and shit. But every time I read these stories, I'm like, this motherfucker didn't want to get out.
Could be, because imagine like you go to prison. Let's say you're 17. You go to prison in 1990, right? And you come back 25 years later. When you went to prison, there was no internet, there was no proper phones, there was nothing, and you get introduced to this world. You can't get a job. That's why like
You
a
have
lot.
no skills,
There's
nothing.
interviews with a lot, not a lot, but there's interviews with prisoners that like got out and they're like, I wanted to go back to prison because I couldn't do anything with my life. It was a new world that I don't understand. It's hard for me to adjust to,
And
or
also, like, you'd probably be living in the streets and like not even,
yeah, you can't get a
at least you
job.
had a
Yeah,
So
place to
sorry,
stay.
I want you to go on. Just say the guard guy was saying that because of the fact that he couldn't get a job after the leave because of the health thing, he lost his job and everything. So they lost their house, they lost their
Oh, that
cars. They're
sucks.
living with his parents now
shit.
because he can't get a job anymore to afford anything. So he's like, and that's why he's thinking of suing. Not
But
because
just
like
question, like,
for the fucks of it.
why would you even want a job like that in the first place?
I
Sounds
mean,
like
you
it
never know.
sucks.
Since certain people,
Yeah,
because
but
of
like
the
if, for
education,
example,
like
let's
this,
say if it's between that or driving a truck to Alaska over icy water that can break any day.
Oh, yeah.
You
there's
know,
always worse.
there's always worse. There's always or having no job. Which
True.
one? Yeah, but there's an experiment the psychologist did. I don't know if you've heard about it or not, but it's called the Stanford Prison Experiment.
Sounds
They made a
very
movie
familiar.
about it a couple of years ago.
You took psychology in high school?
No, like a semester only.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but so basically, this professor gets a grant from the Navy in the U.S., I think, to run this experiment in about prisons and to see. Basically, the point was to see if is it the environment of the prison that makes it bad, or is it the power dynamics? To understand power dynamics in
Nature
general,
versus nurture, kind of.
kind of, but more understanding power dynamics and how it can have like military functions and everything. So this professor, he puts an ad out for 24 male students, and 70 people send their applications in. They narrow it down to the most like normal, sane people that don't have any issues. Then randomly they pick 12 of them to be guards, 12 of them to be prisoners. And they take the basement in one of the buildings in Stanford campus and turn it into a legit like prison. So it's like 100% like
Okay.
accurate study. And for the 12 guys that were picked as prisoners, they involve the police. They arrest them on the street. They make it as real as possible.
Wow. Okay.
They do like nude searches and like
Oh,
everything they
like,
do in
the whole
prison,
thing, right.
fingerprint, everything. And the experiment was supposed to run for 2 weeks. So they put them in and they give the guards two rules. They're like, you can't hit them and you can't put them in solitary for more than 1 hour at a time.
Okay.
But the experiment ends after 6 days. It was supposed to be 2 weeks, ends after 6 days, and I don't think it's been done since.
No.
So because the whole thing basically fell apart. So what happened was first day, like without even starting, one of the rules was you can't hit them, a guard hits someone. Second day, the prisoners, the 12 students that are prisoners, they start a riot. And then the guards, to punish them, they take their beds away. And one of the guards picks up like a fire extinguisher and just starts spraying everyone, hitting them with it.
What's going on?
Yeah. And also they start doing the sleep deprivation thing, the guards. So, and one thing they did was they gave the guards sunglasses, so they're completely anonymous. And for the prisoners, they removed their names and everything. They just gave them numbers and they treated them like there's no difference. Like they removed all humanity from it. Day 3, one person breaks, starts crying, says that I want to talk to the professor and I'm going to sue the university if you don't let me out. Day 4 and 5, 2 other people break. And basically day 6, they end the experiment. And the conclusion was that once you give people power and anonymity, it goes to shit. Like they become evil. Or they
So it doesn't matter
misuse
who
their
you
power.
No.
If
You just
it's like rare people. So the thing you were saying, like, why do prison guards like some of them are cruel? Like these stories, it's like once you give them power, give them anonymity. You know what I mean?
anonymity,
Yeah. It went to shit. They start beating people on the first day. And there's actually a movie about it. I want to watch it now.
Yeah, but if you know it's an experiment, like how would you even?
It's about like when you're in it,
It becomes real.
it becomes so real. And we're not talking about just any. We're talking about Stanford here. Like the study, the psychologist study they did is insane. So I'm gonna make sure that this comes out. I'm just telling the viewers as well. I'm gonna make sure this comes out as a clip. So when I'm doing the clip, I actually because we studied. I took psychology full courses, so we studied this, and they showed the actual footage of the study. So I'll make sure I clip in some of the things. You have to see how brutal they are. Like you're nothing. You're like you piece of
Why?
shit.
Degrading them, making them do
Degrade-
push-ups
it's
and shit.
because it's the power. Like humans,
Yeah,
us in general, by if we have that thirst, and we're completely like there's nothing such thing as humble when it comes to a person that give, and it's also about power that comes out of nowhere. That's another thing about it as well, because these people were normal people.
They didn't earn it.
It's not you earned it and you gradually got to
Or
that
you didn't pick
status.
it. You didn't pick
just
to be a prison guard.
one of the, for example, think about this. This also applies to like king. Like we're not talking about Roman Empire only here. Okay, we're talking about in general in terms of dynasties and empires and emperors and everything, like kings and all that. It was the best. The great kings were like the ones that they achieved it. They expanded the land and all these stuff.
They gained that it wasn't given to them.
Exactly. But their sons were usually the pieces of shit that are evil, doing fucked up shit. The descendants of that great king usually were not as great. It was always rare in history to have like a line of like whatever dynasty you want to call them. Let's name whichever, okay? It was like the first one was the best, and it just kept getting worse and worse unless there was like another good one that pops up. Other than that, it was bound to do.
Wow.
Even like Saddam Hussein, he was the king of Iraq or president. I don't know what his title technically was, but his sons, they're some of the fucking most evil people that ever lived.
That's insane.
They had dogs that they would let on women to eat. The dogs like were trained to eat people, and they just watch it for fun.
Yeah, but how does that come out of boredom or like I just don't
I mean,
understand.
a hint of insanity, I imagine. Plus,
Yeah, but you just said these people were completely sane
yeah,
and normal.
It's just
It's
yeah.
the
I'll
environment.
Like,
give,
could you imagine your? Okay, not you guys. You're not gonna
I
go through
honestly,
that,
I
but
don't believe.
I don't feel like it.
I don't think I would do that quick.
Me neither. That's what surprises
I don't think
me.
I would do it in first date.
First date.
That's
I think it would take me longer to adapt to the situation.
when I read about this and everything, I remember something when I was a kid. I think I was in third grade. I was shit at football, like soccer, but I was shit at football, and the coach made me the captain to like pick thing. That was out of nowhere. But I remember all of a sudden I would get extremely angry when someone didn't listen to me, and I was a kid. Like I remember this because it got like fucking burnt in my memory. I remember getting teary eyed because someone was not doing what I was trying to make sure everyone doing. No, I was a fucking pussy,
Okay.
and that's when for sure that they will
I still
always
do
stay
that.
with me because I was given something that I didn't deserve, and all of a sudden it was my right and my thing that everyone had to do.
Yeah.
You know, this really, like when I read this study, that's why I even remember it very well, because I was like, holy shit, because I didn't deserve it. I was a kid. I was that was irrational. There's no
To understand leadership.
the understanding leadership and everything was awesome. I was in third grade. I was like
Yeah.
what, 8? So yeah,
Whatever.
So
Younger,
whatever.
yeah.
So like that age, like, and that stayed when I was like, I'll never do that again. Like I always have to put my like this, stayed with me. So that's why I'm saying, like, whenever it comes out of nowhere and you don't have the skills, you don't have the leadership, and you are being irrational, you're prone to being irrational, you're an emotional person,
Yeah.
immediately you can switch. So the more normal you are actually, the higher chance you might have to actually becoming that. Because you're not exposed to the shit in the world and everything, or like even experiences of such. You never face a hard situation to take some leadership in terms of like facing it.
We should watch the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
We should watch. I think the movie came out like 2017 or 16 or something like that. but it's
I didn't
called.
watch the movie. I
Yeah, I haven't watched the
this-
movie yet.
The study footages. I'll definitely clip them in
Yeah.
the clips for sure.
All right.
Interesting.
If you wanna, do you have another story?
I have one. It's quick, like, to be honest. Like, basically, this was again a Reddit post, and
This is the one.
yeah, with the word
Right.
that we're gonna bleep out anyway. It's a video of the inmates talking about him. It's like actual footage and everything.
Okay.
And the guy, in such a nonchalant way, is talking. He's like, basically, this guy came in, and he was like trying to be, part of us and whatever and not, you know what I mean? And I was like, all right, I'm gonna have sex with this guy. I'm not, and then he was like, the trick I learned from the old guys was that you give him some oil and you tell him to lube himself up with his own finger. So he's doing it, and then that's what it means that when a guard comes in and like tries to catch us, I'll be like, I'm not. You
Just say it,
Yeah,
bro.
you beep it. I'm not raping the guy because he did the
He's
preparation
prepping
himself.
himself.
Because he has the oil on his own finger. He's not gonna oil himself and then I'm gonna proceed. That's not. That's sex. So, he's like, this is what the old dogs like
Wow.
taught me. So I go on, and my friend who was watching, he's like, yo, let me like get a turn. And we switch, and the guy had no mercy. He was going in full on to a point where he was hurting him. He was like, you don't want the guy to get hurt to go to the hospital because that's
True.
gonna get us into shit. So slow down, man. I didn't finish. I want to go again. So they kept switching around. This is a nonchalant,
This is a conversation.
casual, like the guy fully say on the camera was like, yeah, I went and this and did. The guy was going, and the other guy was like, yeah, I was kind of giving it to him pretty good, huh? And then like they were talking about it, and I was just I was like watching this whole thing. They were talking. I was like, how the fuck is this like so normal, casual? And then apparently the guy became the hoe of the prison.
No.
Because he was like the warden, because one of the head of the guards was like, when he went to complain about it, he was like, either you shut your mouth or I'm gonna send you to the other area, the lockup parts where the other ones are. And he was like, fuck
Never
that
mind.
shit. And he became the hoe of everyone. He was like, I'd rather keep my mouth shut and my ass open rather than getting my guts opened up by the other section. And he preferred that. And he got released after 1 year or like a couple months. Like he was there for a minor offense. And the guy, the guy who went really hard on him was saying that we know that if he comes back, he's going to be one of our boys. Like,
what do you mean?
It's insane. And then they were saying like, someone in the comments was like, well, yeah, that's why they make prisons so bad, so no one wants to go there.
No, but this is different, man.
That's fucked up, first of all. Second of all, they were saying that how is such a part of the culture there and
it's
everything
so
like that. But at the same time, this wasn't a very, like, out of all the shit that I read, this wasn't like a very common thing that was talked about on this thing. But to be fair, because the Reddit actual questions were from years ago, the major top ones were actually deleted. So I feel like those were the juicy ones.
No, but even when I was researching this, I watched a lot of interviews with people who've been to prison, came out, different states and everything. A lot of them, like the interview would ask them, like, were you scared for rape? They were like, that was the last thing on our mind. He's like, there's a lot of other situations that ends in violence. That one of them, I think it was on Rogan, and I think he's a UFC fighter. He was saying that, like, a simple thing as you saying you like PlayStation more than Xbox can lead into a full racial fight. That like the two gangs are. Like, he's like the thing is like the last thing on your mind. So I think it's very like case to case.
The last thing, sorry, I'm just saying. One of the short stories I remember that I read was that. So basically, the two people were playing backgammon at the yard, and the guy was smoking a cigarette. So one guy comes in, he's like, "Can I get like whatever the term was? Basically, I want to get the last puff of your cigarette butt. And he's like, yeah, sure. So the guy goes, and the guy who was smoking a cigarette forgot that the guy wanted. So he finished his cigarette, he threw it down. The guy comes back, is like, oh, where's my last puff? He's like, oh, I forgot, man. Like, you were gone, I forgot I finished the cigarette. He's like, cool. He leaves, he comes back, he grabs the guy from the neck, turns around, and stabs him with a pencil right into the eye. And, like, drags his body out.
Finishing a cigarette?
Because of the last puff of a cigarette, the guy
I don't get it. They just want, like, any excuse.
No, it's not that. I think the most minor thing can be seen as disrespect. And in that situation, all you have is your respect and your manhood, basically.
Oh, yeah, that's true, actually.
I think it's that. And also, like, the guy I was telling you that he was a fighter, they didn't know he took the key and everything. He was saying that, like, some of these people are so, like, dumb that, like, you don't understand how, you can't comprehend how their mind works and what the smallest miscommunication, they see it as disrespect that leads into something. Obviously, we're not saying all prisoners, like, none of that, but, like, in any group, there's a minor group that, like...
But you're probably right. That's probably all they have left
Yes,
there,
and a lot of interviews, like, people were talking about, like, what was the hardest part of prison. They were saying how they remove, like, they take away your manhood. They take away, this was all, like, male prisons, like, how the guards, like, those dirty guards and everything, they treat you is, like, they try to remove that last piece of respect you have. That, like, they randomly give you, like, a nude search in the middle of the hallway in front of everyone. It's like they take the last piece of dignity you have.
That sucks.
So, like, when you get in a situation that someone disrespects you or you see it as a disrespect.
That's the only thing.
And if you have life in prison...
You have nothing to lose.
What's going to happen?
Nothing,
they give you 2 lives in prison? Like,
prison. Remember the show Prison Break?
Yeah.
Remember that fucked up guard that, like, when they ended up in that prison, like, whatever it was, like, Guatemala or
Panama,
whatever.
I think.
Panama, yeah. It was Panama. When he was getting fucked over, I felt better when he was getting fucked over than when Teabag was getting fucked over.
Yeah.
Because I felt like the prisoner had more right to be a fucked up person because of the environment that he is than the guard that's just abusing his power to fuck up everyone else.
Yeah.
Anyways. Have sweet dreams. And thank you all.
Thank you guys for watching this episode of podcast. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you like our content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and also check out our social media channels. We'll be back next Sunday.
Yep.
Thank you, Nat, for joining us.
Of course, anytime.
Sorry, Faisal 2.0.
Yes.
See you next week.
Can we not call my wife Faisal 2.0? Like,
What, you have a problem with Faisal?
no, I prefer my wife being called,
All right.
Thank you guys. Goodbye.
Bye.